What's up, guys? Courtney from Brothers Deconstruction here, and I'm finally here to record the mega San Diego Comic-Con update video. Now, today is Saturday. Comic-Con was last week. There has been some news that's come out since, but I will only be talking about the news that came out during Comic-Con, or the most interesting news. And there was so much that actually I had to make note of it on my iPad. I know you probably couldn't see those notes at all, but there was a lot that I had to actually write down to make sure I didn't really miss it. One thing that's not on here is the Kong Skull Island trailer. That got released, which looks fucking insane. So if you haven't watched it, go check it out. They're really setting up him and Godzilla to fight each other, and you would normally think, well, Godzilla is so much bigger than King Kong, especially from the 2014 movie. Like, what's the difference? This Kong is huge. Like, he's literally the same size as Godzilla. Even they're so close in height that even the first like teaser poster for Godzilla that showed his outline and the little flare that the soldier was holding up. The teaser poster for Kong is basically the exact same thing, except in the Godzilla poster, it was a red flare. In this poster for Kong Skull Island, it's a green flare, and you see a faint outline of Kong, and he's huge. So go check that out. Moving on, I missed DC's panel because I was at work and I ended up running some errands afterwards, and I ended up getting the things late. So DC released Comic-Con footage, like sizzle. I don't really want to call it a trailer, but I guess it was for all intents and purposes, it was a Comic-Con trailer for Justice League. Now, they also released something from Wonder Woman. The Justice League trailer I really liked. There was a set visit that came out a couple of months ago from, various news outlets visiting the set for Justice League. And they talked about this one particular scene between Bruce Wayne and Barry Allen where he basically pops up in Barry Allen's basement and they're having a conversation. And he basically tells Barry, hey, look, I'm here recruiting people. I want to recruit you. And Barry Allen is like, I don't know who you're looking for. And then he throws a batarang. And, he's like steps into the Speed Force, slows it down, seizes the batarang and realizes, holy shit, this is Bruce Wayne. This is Batman. And basically says, yeah, I'm in, whatever like that. Bruce is kind of surprised. And he's like, yeah, I need friends. And so the trailer looked awesome. The stuff with Aquaman looked really good. They gave Jason Momoa contacts to kind of differentiate him because he's half human and half Atlantean. So I guess the contacts kind of distinguish his Atlantean genetics. Overall, I really like the humor in the trailer, and I really like the tone of the trailer. They had more jokes in this, and I wouldn't even say jokes. It was a much more levity, but it was still very serious. The only thing that I didn't really like about the Justice League trailer was some of the dialogue. Like the opening scene where Ben Affleck is talking to these people, and he's basically saying, look, I'm looking for Aquaman. He's like, there's a guy that comes and helps this village out, that brings fish in the winter when people are hungry. He comes in on the King's Tide. That was last night. I need to speak with this man. And Jason Momoa turns around and says, talk. Like, that was fine. But when he's talking to Barry Allen, he's like, you see, I'm looking for people. I'm gathering a team of people with special abilities. The dialogue during that scene was a little clunky because at one point he's like, you see, I think enemies are coming. It's just really, at least in my opinion, it's just really clunky. And so that was the main thing. Some of Bruce Wayne's dialogue I didn't really like in the trailer. I thought it was a little clunky. And again, like I've been from the beginning, I don't understand why Cyborg is in this trailer. I don't understand, well, not in the trailer. I don't understand why he's in the movie. This isn't a Teen Titans movie, but whatever. Moving on, the Wonder Woman trailer was really good. The fact that that period piece looks like it's gonna work, and the fighting style and the direction, it was really, really good. I really thoroughly enjoyed it. There's really not much I have to say I hated with the Wonder Woman trailer, because I really didn't hate anything about it. I thought it was a really cool trailer. Now, Marvel's panel, Hall H, they had a lot of stuff there. First, they brought out the cast of Black Panther, and they actually, like, from what we've been hearing for Black Panther, it's basically just been, hey, Chadwick Boseman is playing Black Panther, and that's really all we know. Like, they were like, hey, Michael B. Jordan is circling a role to play the villain. I don't even ever remember Marvel confirming it before this panel, but they confirmed it at the panel. So they brought out Ryan Coogler, the director, Chadwick Boseman, of course. They brought out Michael B. Jordan, who's playing Eric Killmonger, the villain of the movie, or one of the villains, which still may be rumored because one of the actresses slipped up in the conversation. But the actress was Lupita Nyong'o. After Michael B. Jordan was kind of rumored to be circling the villain role in the movie, it was also reported that Lupita Nyong'o is supposed to be joining the cast as well. Nothing official ever came out until the panel, basically a week ago today. So Lupita Nyong'o and Denai Guerrero, I'm so sorry if I just butchered her name, they're the Dora Milaje, which basically Black Panther's or T'Challa's security guards. They're the all-female security force for Wakanda, and those two are the ones that Denai and Lupita are playing are basically T'Challa's bodyguards. Lupita came out later on and was like, kind of said that, gave up plot details and said that T'Challa is basically going to team up with like the CIA because there are two villains that he has to fight, this and that. So obviously we haven't gotten any confirmation. She hasn't been fired yet from the movie for kind of spilling secrets a little early. So we'll see what comes from that. But we got the cast of Black Panther, which is really shaping up to be a really great cast. After that, Thursday, I think this was all Friday, maybe Saturday, I want to say. I can't remember if it was Thursday or Friday. Marvel basically announced that Daredevil was getting a season 3. They dropped a little Defenders teaser in which it was hinted that they're going to be facing the Hand, which was basically kind of the overarching villain or antagonist of Daredevil season 2. And they released the trailers for Luke Cage and Iron Fist. The Luke Cage trailer looks insane. It was to the backdrop of Shimmy Shimmy Ya by Old Dirty Bastard from the Wu-Tang Clan. It was amazing. It was a great trailer. It was very to the point, and I'm really looking forward to it. It comes out September 30th on Netflix. Now afterwards there was a mix-up, at least from me and my group of friends that kind of keep up with everything. We heard that all the episodes of Luke Cage were going to be named after Wu-Tang Clan songs, but that was the wrong information. It's actually going to be named after Gang Starr songs. Still, I'm looking forward to it. The Iron Fist trailer was a true teaser. It didn't really show much of anything. I'm really looking forward to Iron Fist as well. Just because it's Iron Fist. We're basically getting the Heroes for Hire on Marvel Netflix. So, yeah. Sorry for this lighting. I thought the lighting was pretty good, but the sun is trying to set and it's very kind of cloudy. So, the shading and the lighting might change here and there. Luke Cage and Iron Fist. Both really, really awesome looking trailers. Moving on to other Marvel stuff. Thor Ragnarok. Well, no, backtracking to Marvel TV. That was the Luke Cage and Iron Fist are the Netflix shows. For Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., there have been promotional material floating around in California, I believe, of a fiery chain on, you know, basically the buses or the trains out there in LA, I guess. People were speculating, is Ghost Rider coming to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? I didn't think so, simply because there was a character named Hellfire in season 3 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and he was basically a cross between Ghost Rider and Gambit. Like, his power, he was an Inhuman, and his power was that he can charge any object to explode. But it wasn't like Gambit and like charging a kinetic injury. He could literally charge it with fire and have it explode. And at one point, he was using the chain. He set the chain on fire and was using it to attack people. So I was like, well, maybe he's going to have a more prominent role or whatever. Yeah, Ghost Rider is coming to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. They confirmed it. It's not going to be Johnny Blaze or Danny Ketch. It's going to be Robbie Reyes, the most recent Ghost Rider from the short-lived series. And I know this sounds mean, but it's basically the shitty Ghost Rider. Because he's the one that drives the car. Now, I didn't read that series. It was canceled. It didn't get its full run. It was canceled. I mean, I want to see how they're really going to execute it. But a while back, after like the promotional material had come up, it was never really confirmed until now. Because they also announced the actor who's playing it. And his name is escaping me right now. But when the promotional material had come out, there was also like speculation or something along those lines of a casting call for the Reyes brothers, because apparently Robbie Reyes, the Ghost Rider, he has like a disabled brother in a wheelchair or something like that. And so there were casting calls for both brothers, but it was never confirmed, obviously. Now we have a confirmation that Ghost Rider is coming to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So I wanted to backtrack a little bit and touch up on that. Going back to the movies, Doctor Strange had a panel. They released the second trailer at the panel and online. Now, obviously at the panel, there was a clip beforehand. And from all descriptions of the clip, it was when he meets the Ancient One for the first time. Now, in the first Doctor Strange teaser, it's when she touches his forehead and just like sends him into that very long shot where it's edited to look like he's falling through like the buildings, and he falls back on the chair and he's like, teach me. Apparently it was an extended version of that scene where, you know, she knocks him into the astral form and she taps his forehead. And apparently the scene that he goes into is very, very like trippy from all descriptions and all the videos that I've seen of people talking about it. It's a very trippy scene. But he comes back and that's when he's like, teach me. The second Doctor Strange trailer is great. It's really, really awesome, and it has a really awesome joke at the end of it. Thor Ragnarok. Taiki Waititi is the director's name. Again, I probably butchered the name. But he had done a small little like mockumentary, because one of his films that he got a lot of acclaim for was like a mockumentary on vampires. And so he did something like that to basically explain why Thor wasn't in Civil War. It hasn't been released. I heard it was really, really fun and all that. And it was basically Thor with a roommate. Apparently at one point he was talking to Bruce Banner, and Tony Stark called, and Bruce called Tony T-Bone. It was very funny, but then it went into like behind the scenes footage of them filming Thor Ragnarok, and then it was cut in between concept art. So in the concept art, and as well as at San Diego Comic-Con, apparently Hulk has his Planet Hulk gladiator armor. They showed that in the concept art. They also showed, which we also got confirmation of Surtur, the fire demon. So that was a really big thing that everybody was wondering if he was going to be in Ragnarok. But Surtur is in Ragnarok. They're also doing an adaptation of Planet Hulk. In the concept art, there was also Thor with like war paint on his face and a shaved head. So we're basically getting Planet Hulk and Contest of Champions, I think it's been mentioned, which is what Jeff Goldblum's Grandmaster has to do with. We got a shot of Valkyrie. They actually showed actual footage, I believe, of Cate Blanchett, her as Hela, with the big giant helmet and everything like that. And it sounded awesome. It sounded awesome. None of this stuff leaked, by the way, and if it did, I didn't get my hands on it, so I couldn't see it myself. Moving on to Guardians of the Galaxy, James Gunn brought out the cast, but he had the Ravagers come out and basically cause a ruckus on stage, and they were even causing a ruckus during the panel when he was announcing the cast, because at one point, the actress who's playing Mantis in this movie, I was following a live blog of the panel, and one of the Ravagers mentioned how Mantis isn't green, and apparently they yelled out hashtag not my Mantis, and I was crying when I read that because it was just hilarious. Like, the Ravagers were actually cracking a lot of jokes on the actors, but there was again another teaser trailer for Guardians Volume 2. It started off with a scene of Yondu, who's apparently a part of the Guardians now because the Ravagers are after him. It's Yondu and Rocket in jail, and Baby Groot. Now, Baby Groot apparently is a part of the Ravagers, or they're okay with him just walking around because it's a Baby Groot, and so they're making fun of him. They're teasing him, things like that, and they just let him walk around. And so Yondu was like, hey, get my fin. And apparently in the scene, he keeps bringing back like things that aren't the fin. And when I mean fin, I mean they actually give Yondu, you know how Yondu in the first Guardians, he had that mohawk? And people are like, oh, it's not the fin that Yondu from the comics has. No, they give him his fin in this movie. That's what he asked Baby Groot to go get. And apparently it makes his arrow that he was whistling to control before, it makes it like much more powerful, and afterwards he basically uses the fin to kill all the guards. So it was really, really cool to hear it described. But that scene went into another basically teaser trailer like they did for the first Guardians. I forget which song it was cut to. It sounded pretty awesome. We also got confirmation that Kurt Russell, when he was cast, people figured that Kurt Russell was playing Star-Lord's dad. He is, but he isn't a lot of the names that people have been speculating. I always swore up and down that he was playing Starhawk, who was one of the original members of the Guardians of the Galaxy, with Yondu, Vance, Astro, like the original lineup of the Guardians of the Galaxy. He isn't Starhawk. He isn't Star Fox, who is Thanos' brother, I believe. He also isn't Adam Warlock. He is Ego, the Living Planet. Now, when that was first announced, James Gunn announced this himself. He said it's not a spoiler because we find out that Ego is Star-Lord's dad very early on. Therefore, it's not a big spoiler. When that was announced, I was a little hesitant to be like, how is a living planet the father of a human son? From what I've seen and looking it up, is that Ego has immense power. And apparently one of his powers is that he can create humanoid bodies, basically, to transfer his conscience into. So I'm assuming that's the route that they're going. They're keeping him as Ego, the living planet, but it's the human form of Ego. And I forget why. James Gunn actually went on Facebook and explained why he chose Ego and everything like that. So that was a really big announcement as well. So I'm really looking forward to that. I mean, Guardians was my most anticipated Phase 2 film when it came out. Guardians Volume 2, probably after Civil War, it's probably my most anticipated Phase 3 movie. So we'll see how that turns out. Also with the Guardians of the Galaxy cast. Now this was after. Now I'm going to touch up on Spider-Man Homecoming in a minute. But I think Guardians was the last panel. So afterwards, they brought everybody up on stage. And Kevin Feige was like, this is going to be one big thing. We need to bring out everybody. He brought out Brie Larson and confirm that she's Captain Marvel. Now, me, on the other hand, I thought Catherine Winnick from Vikings fame would have been a perfect Captain Marvel. But I mean, I understand Brie Larson is an Oscar winner. She has the acting chops. So I'm still very interested to see what she's gonna do with this role. Now, Captain Marvel movie, her movie doesn't come out until 2019, I believe, because I think it's right in between Avengers Infinity War Part 1 and then Part 2. It's between the Infinity War movies. So I think they announced this casting now so she could pop up in other movies. So she might be popping up. She might have some cameos somewhere along the line. I don't know if she has a cameo in Guardians. I mean, they did just finish wrapping maybe earlier this month, late June. And plus they're gonna go back and do reshoots. All the big movies go and do reshoots. So they might implement her into a reshoot or something like that. Who knows? Or she might pop up in one of the other movies. That's why I think they announced this casting so early, because there isn't even a director yet. But we might be getting that news soon. Anyway, I'm really looking forward to seeing what they're going to do with her. Now, Spider-Man Homecoming. They brought out Tom Holland, Zendaya, and I think 2 of the other actors for the cast, as well as John Watts, the director. They actually flew them in because they've only been filming for like 10 days. Now, they did have some I was about to say trailer footage, but it wasn't a trailer. They did have some scenes and the teacher's like, Parker, what are you doing? And he's like, nothing, nothing. They show him in school. And so it was like a John Hughes film. And they did show some concept art. And at the end, I think some of the concept art was cut in between the footage. But they did release the concept art of the Vulture. It's a high-tech suit. It looked really cool in the concept art. So I'm really interested to see how they're going to go with this. Now, it wasn't confirmed that Michael Keaton is playing the Vulture. Everybody's been speculating and that's who he's playing. But again, we don't have confirmation about that. So I'll just wait to see. Because I think Michael Keaton would be an awesome Vulture, especially if it's like a high-tech suit. But I also think Michael Keaton would be an awesome Norman Osborn. Let's see. So going down the line on my mega update, that seems to be everything. Comic-Con sounded great this year. And people were, debating who won, DC or Marvel. We the fans won, in my honest opinion, because we got all this stuff and we're going to get all this stuff. This is the mega update video. I might do a couple of videos on like some of the news that's come out since, maybe not. One thing I do want to add, I know in my previous video talking about the Power Rangers, I speculated that it would be good for them to show footage. There was no footage shown. So what I'm thinking that's going to happen is that PMC is happening in the Power Morphicon, the Power Rangers convention, is happening in a couple of weeks. Me and Bruce are attending. I think they're going to drop some footage there. It would make sense to, since it's the Power Rangers convention. That will be the perfect time to drop footage for the Power Rangers movie that's coming out next year. I might do another video diary again. We might get some more reviews. Who knows? We'll see. We're really going out there for vacation and to enjoy ourselves, because doing the interviews in 2014, it was really exhausting. We just want to hang out and have some fun. So we might clean up a little bit of interviews that we didn't get to do before. Yeah, so that was a real quick side note. But we as fans won this year. With all that being said, go check out the Wonder Woman trailer. It's online. Go check out the Doctor Strange trailer. Go check out the Justice League trailer. They're all online. Like I said, I haven't found any leaked footage from the other panels, but there was also a Suicide Squad trailer released too, but I didn't really like it all that much. I mean, I'm gonna go see the movie anyway. It comes out on Friday, basically a week from now, so I'm still gonna go see it. It was Joker centric, but Or I think might have been Deadshot centric. But anyway, I'm still gonna go see the movie. I didn't think it was all that. Yeah, go check those out, and I'll be catching up with you guys.